What's up, everybody? Another edition of Rawcast AD. Another episode where we really have no agenda whatsoever. Had a last-minute cancellation and a last-minute fill-in. Another former colleague. We had some good times. Apparently, we both disliked each other at first. But we worked past our differences, and now here we sit at a table in my living room. My good friend Katie, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
So you were actually a few minutes late to getting to this session. What was going on before that?
Oh, gosh. Calling me out. Okay. So, everybody, I'm late. I've got kids. That wasn't an excuse today. So I kind of like had this lifelong dream to become an amazing musician and, just play in coffee shops and things like that. But I don't know. I'm kind of getting older, getting in my 30s. I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
What, getting in your 30s?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's happening. But yeah. So, I just kind of wanted to do something different, live a little bit. So I went and looked at some banjos. And I decided on one. And I've only been thinking about it maybe a good week. But I just looked at one and I picked it up. And it's beautiful. And it's got an amazing quality to the sound. And so I bought it. And I'm going to be the first to admit I have no clue what I'm doing with it, but I'm going to YouTube it, and it's going to be an adventure.
You can't learn if you don't have one.
That's right. So, I mean, you can learn anything from YouTube.
Oh, so. Yeah, you can. There's so many tutorials on YouTube.
I mean, my chiropractor, learns all his shit on YouTube.
Really?
Just totally kidding.
Really?
He's pulled that one on me hey, don't worry, I've seen this on YouTube so many times.
And I'd actually believe it because I have been at appointments with a doctor where they're explaining something to me and then they bring up WebMD. Nice. And they're like, yeah, see, it says right here. I'm like, I can do that.
I'm a doctor. I can pull up WebMD and tell you that you have this because it's right here on WebMD. And this is a highly classified website that only people who've gone to school like I have can access. So you pay $150 to come and see me, and I pull up my secret website that only I can access, but you layperson, you cannot access this website.
Layperson, way to go there. But it always it bothered me because it's like, really? So what's the difference between you and me other than the fact that you have a prescription pad where you can legally sell drugs, basically?
Yeah.
So yeah, I look, for the most part, I look at doctors now as glorified drug dealers. Yeah. They were the smart drug dealers. They're like, well, let's go ahead and have a really nice income. We'll go to school for a while, but eventually we'll just be prescribing everything for everything.
There's a doctor that I go to and I love him, but every once in a while I go in there for, certain things, and he'll pull out this chart and kind of I take a quiz each time I go there, and he pulls out this chart and he looks at my score on the quiz. And then he kind of looks at different things on this chart to tell him what to prescribe me.
Whoa.
And it's like, oh, all right. Well, according to this, then you should take this. Or, here's my little cheat sheet because I don't really know what I'm supposed to give you or,
and
what's
I've
going
had
on.
Doctors literally
a reference sheet in his
say,
pocket.
oh, well, we've been prescribing the wrong dosage. For antibiotics and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that.
Because we don't have antibiotics in anything. We all need them so desperately all the time.
Yeah, that's so great for your immune system.
It really is. I mean,
antibacterial hand soap.
Hand sanitizer. Antibiotics in toothpastes even.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
And milk, from what I hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta kill every germ that's ever there because you just never know.
Katie's a little critical.
You can never be too safe.
Oh, yeah. Bubble children. Let's make that happen.
Well, did you ever notice I don't know, for me, with my first child, my son's 7, so, I've kind of been a mom for a while. When
2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Don't you know? No, so, when he was a baby and when he was starting to eat solid foods, you know, he'd have those little snacks and like you'd be out somewhere and it'd fall down on the floor. It's like, oh my God, no. Let's just, ew, they'll clean that up. Don't eat that. Or like if your kid is a little, you know, toddler or baby and they have a pacifier and it falls down, it's like, oh my God, I need to go wash it and sterilize it. And like, there's no way you can touch it ever again until I do that at home. But then with your second kid, it's like,
It's not that bad.
how dirty does this place look? Like where we're sitting, do you think very many people walk right here? Like, it looks like a pretty clean place. I mean, we're in a restaurant, right? But they sweep and mop and vacuum every day, probably more times a day than I do, like in a month. So, like, they'll be okay. They'll live a little bit of a, you know, boost to their immune system with all the germs.
Pretty much. I mean, when we were kids, we were
10-second
like
rule.
eating dirt.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean, I ate dirt too. I think I wanted to try worms once as a kid, but I don't think I quite got the guts to do that. But we did eat dirt, sand. Not really a fun thing.
Sand was not my favorite.
Yeah, like we took suckers and dipped them in sand and like, the sand sucker.
And now they'd be like, oh, that's
Gosh,
gross. We got to
like-
throw it out.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh.
But that's the thing.
Everybody's
It
gonna
takes
get
germs
sick.
to build the immune system.
Yeah. So yeah, with
People need
your
chill.
second and third kids or whatever, you know, it's like, that's not gonna kill them, you know.
Yeah, we have like a phobia of germs, but somehow chemicals are okay.
Yeah.
That gets frustrating. And I really pay attention to like gender equality. And I strongly believe in gender equality, but there are differences between the genders. And
Wait, what?
yeah, I mean, you're not sexist for acknowledging anatomy, really.
Yes.
And the big thing that I'm seeing, I'm glad that it's gaining momentum, is public nursing.
Yeah.
Like, a mother should not feel ashamed their child is hungry.
Yeah.
And she feeds it. Him or her.
Yeah,
I
we
should
don't
say.
it.
It's a
Come
bad
on.
term to use. That's harsh. I've
Don't
never
call
called
your
my
child
children
it.
it.
Just for the record.
Never said that to my children. It.
Whatever your name is, get over here. Come on.
But there's like a certain stigma that comes with public nursing where I've heard a lot of men in government saying that should be done in private.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious to me. It's just so ridiculous because it's okay to just have sex sells ads all over
Yeah.
the place. You know, scantily clad women to sell
Girls
your
Gone
liquor.
Wild. Woo! Spring break.
But then
On
don't,
TV.
But then don't be flopping out a boob
Don't
to
feed your baby. Yeah.
Don't do what your body was
Gotta go
designed to
do
do.
that in your car, like in the bathroom or something, like, because everybody loves to eat lunch in the bathroom. I mean, I do.
Well, it's
Have you ever tried it?
no, not really.
Yeah.
You know, never
It's fun.
Never
Yeah, just
eat where you crap, never crap where you eat.
I hope people like don't. Yeah, I'm not serious. It would not be fun to eat in the bathroom.
Katie's a jokey jokester. I
yeah.
found that out in time.
Jokey McJokers. That's me.
But I do think that the mentality needs to change on it. You know, if a guy is troubled by it, stop staring.
Well, and you know, the sad thing is, okay, so I was a volunteer La Leche League leader, and La Leche League is one of the largest international nonprofit breastfeeding programs out there. It's over 50 years old.
That's
And
incredible.
it was founded by moms who really, every time they nursed their babies in public, they had so many moms like come up to them with questions saying like, I couldn't breastfeed, or, you know, I didn't have support, or like, you make it look so easy. How are you doing this? And so they had these questions all the time. So they started a support group, and then like word spread, and like now it's all over the world. There's a book that they publish, which is like a best-selling breastfeeding book called The Womanly Art of Breastfeeding. And I've read it, and I recommend it for everybody who wants to breastfeed. But that's available in like 7 languages because it's
Is
so
it
popular.
really?
Yeah. It's in like its 7th or 8th edition now. But I mean, in our country, breastfeeding is such a taboo thing, and it is such a double standard. Like you said, sex sells, and hear the train.
I know, it's
yes.
ridiculous.
Sex sells, but you can look at a Victoria's Secret model, in her push-up bra and her thong, but if you sit down in the mall and nurse your baby, it's just a big deal. You get dirty looks, and you might even have somebody comment to you. And I don't know if I've actually ever had anybody ever say anything negative to me. And I've nursed 2 kids till each of them were about 3, even a little beyond. And, by that age, I wasn't nursing a lot in public. But if they were really tired or having a rough time, I'd sit down and nurse. And, I never tried to make a big deal out of it. Some people say, oh, nursing moms, they just want everybody to see their breasts, and they're just doing that for attention, and they're voyeurs and things like that.
How dare you do what your body was designed to do?
I mean, I've never once met a nursing mom that has wanted people to see her breasts when she's nursing. Like, that's awkward for her. Right? She doesn't want people to see that either. So, I mean, but you can only be so discreet, and my definition of discreet could be different from yours, and some people will say, oh, she should cover up, or, take that somewhere else. I don't want to see that. I've got kids here. But shouldn't we be teaching our kids, like, this is what the human body was made for? We're mammals. All mammals nurse their babies. Cats, dogs, you name it. They all do the same thing. They don't cover up with a blanket. Nobody would ever tell a dog mom, oh, hold on here. Your puppies are hungry. Let's just cover that up, because nobody wants to see. Nobody needs to see that, or just go in the other room and do that. We were made to do that, so don't we want to teach our kids that that's the natural, normal way that humans act? That's how mammals are. That's why we're mammals. Mm-hmm. If breasts weren't for breastfeeding, they wouldn't be making milk for babies.
Right?
What are you supposed to do with it? Just yeah.
But I've seen it gaining traction.
Yeah.
A lot of moms, women in general, that are kind of banding together to support that and change the status quo.
Yeah.
And I really think it needs to happen. Why should the baby go hungry until a mother can find a room where she won't be bothered?
Yeah, or people will say to a nursing mom, well, can't you just pump and then feed the baby from a bottle when you're out running errands? Well, I mean, you could, but why would you want to do that? That's a pain in the ass.
Really?
I mean, if you've ever, male, the male species here has probably never hooked himself up to a breast pump, but it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of cleaning involved, sterilizing, and, from a breast pump, you don't get the same results as you do from your baby being right there anyway, so you don't get as much milk. It's not as much of a, bonding thing, feeding your baby from a bottle if you just have the breast right there. Mm-hmm. And it's just so much more work. Why would you put yourself through that if you don't have to, just to make other people comfortable?
Yeah.
They need to get over it. And it's funny because most of the stories that I have heard when either people that I know or people that I've known through, La Leche League just on Facebook or through support groups and that kind of thing, or through friends, when they've had a negative experience and had somebody treat them poorly or say something negative to them about nursing, it's usually a woman. It's not even a man. Really. And sometimes guys, I mean, that's not the case all the time, but sometimes guys are like, oh, you don't need to see that. And it's like, really, you're over here at the strip club looking at this chick's tits, but mine feeding my baby is not okay because it's not what it's like not a turn on to you, or it's strangely a turn on and you don't like it, or is that
That's
too awkward? Maybe it does turn people on, and they don't know how to process that. I mean, I don't even know what it is, but
there's a lot of variables.
Yeah, so many times it's actually other women that are unsupportive, or they'll say, I support breastfeeding, but I breastfed my kids, but you should really cover up. It's like either you support breastfeeding or you don't. If you support it,
much.
I think you support it in any way. You know, in Wisconsin, and I moved here from Texas also, there's laws that say that a nursing mom is legally entitled to breastfeed her child anywhere that she's legally allowed to be. She could be topless if she wanted to. If that's what it took to nurse, you don't even have to have a shirt on, and the law protects you.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never once seen a nursing mom that wanted to go topless because,
the
you know,
fact
they're
is,
self-conscious. They don't want people seeing that stuff. But
they had protection.
But they do have protection, and people still they're just uncomfortable with it. And what I think is, like, if you're uncomfortable with me feeding my child the way that God designed our bodies to be, and even if you're not a religious person, I'm sorry, science shows that our bodies were designed as mammals to nurse our babies, right? Mm-hmm. Mammals are born, they give birth to live young, they produce milk, and they have hair or fur of some sort, right? Like, that's what makes a mammal, I think.
Correct.
I think those all three.
As
I might
far
have
as
been
I
missing
know.
one. But
we could phone a friend if we had to.
Oh, shit. Which
Regis
friend would know?
Philbin?
Regis? Wait, was it Meredith Vieira? Isn't she the new one?
Yeah.
I don't even have TV anymore. I have Netflix.
Something like that.
But I think she was on it.
She was the last one I saw.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like Meredith Miller at one point?
Oh, gosh, now I don't know.
We tangents, Katie. Tangents.
I'm a little bit ADD, I think, you know, and just... Anyway. You know, if you're not a religious person, you don't believe God made you to nurse your baby, then you're a scientific person. Either way, mammals nurse their young, and that's the end of the story.
But even from both sides of the argument, there really is, like, I can't say both sides of the argument. You look at it from a scientific approach or a faith-based approach. Either way, it ends with, that's the natural way.
That's why they're there.
Yeah. They're not there to be fondled, necessarily. They're not there to be ogled.
As much as people like to think so. I mean, that's not their primary purpose in life.
Because, you know, take a faith-based approach. God was just like, you know what? Extend that chest out. Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be kind of fun for somebody to play with one of these days. Yeah.
So not the case.
Nah, I don't think God's into fun.
He's a rather macabre person. Some might even consider him a buzzkill.
Or the people who say, "Oh, we're in church. You can't nurse your baby. This is a place of worship. You can't do that here." And then there's the picture of baby Jesus being nursed by Mary.
Know.
Like, what the fuck is that? Come on, people.
I've never heard
Have you
swear
not seen
so
these
much.
paintings? No, this gets me kind of fired up.
I can understand.
Oh gosh, people, that's like the lamest argument in the book. Oh, we're in a place of worship. You know, there are children around. Well, if it was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for my kid, you know.
Hey, there you go.
He wasn't fed anything else. Come on.
It's hard to refute that. Well, especially back in that time.
Yeah, what would
it's
they
not
do?
like, Joseph, can you go down to the store and pick up some Similac?
Yeah.
Like, no. It was baby's hungry, whip it out.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
The natural way.
I feel like I don't want people to be uncomfortable, but if it's your comfort or my child's hungry, you know, and I have to feed him, well, sorry, but I'm gonna feed my kid.
And more people
you can look
should
away.
think that way.
And you can look away. I mean, yeah, it might catch your eye for a second because it's something different. Maybe you don't see it all the time, but you see something you don't like, and then you just look away, right? How hard is that to just walk?
Do you know what's
walk away?
More uncomfortable, being uncomfortable with standing there watching a mother breastfeed, is being that mom watching this guy stare at her.
Yeah.
You know?
Like a creeper. Yeah.
I like the British approach to a lot of things. Like, you don't like that? Well, don't look at it.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear it? Don't
I'll
listen
put a
to
bag
it.
over your head if you don't want to look at me nursing my kid. Here you go.
Exactly. And that's
Here, I've got a blanket you can put right over your face.
Now how does it feel?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the baby loves to just have a blanket thrown over their
especially in the summertime when it's really warm.
head. Yeah, that's a
You know,
terrible
you're
idea.
sweaty under there. And
I mean, yeah, in a controlled environment, fine, if the mom wants to go to that length.
If that's
Good
what
for
makes
her.
her comfortable, that's
So be
cool
it.
with me. If she doesn't need that to be comfortable, that's also good. I've done it both ways. And I've kind of just, when my kids were younger, just did it based on where I was and how I felt comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
And it would change. Sometimes it would involve a cover, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes I would wear my kids in a baby carrier, which is another like hippie crunchy mom thing. And
Did you say hippie crunchy?
hippie crunchy mom, like granola crunchy.
Like Nature Valley granola bars are the only
no,
ones.
not even Nature Valley. That's GMO shit. Just
Is that GMO?
It probably is. Don't quote me. Please don't sue me, Nature Valley. I have no money.
Well,
Because they're listening to this, right?
I see, and I say something like that every episode.
Oh.
Like we were talking smack on one episode about Leinenkugels. It was my buddy Nathan talking about Summer Shandy, saying that it was just an awful beer. And we mention it every time. Like right now, I'm drinking some of the last of the crop of Point Bach beer. It's seasonal. It's delicious. It has a beautiful label with a goat's head on it.
Kick-ass ram.
Oh, it is a ram. You're right.
Yeah.
I have failed. And Katie's drinking a bottle of...
I'm not drinking the whole bottle. Give me a break here.
No, Katie's drinking...
Throwing me under the bus.
Katie's drinking a rather small glass of... I don't have the bottle near me, but it's from Red Fawn
Fruity
Creek. I think?
berry drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried a little bit of that the other day. Quite delicious. I'll have to say that. But, so yeah, the unofficial sponsors in terms of alcohol.
Beer and wine.
Beer and wine. In general, because Point, you get a shout out every week because all I drink is Point, despite the fact that in the past I try to get sponsorships through you for musicians, and you totally ignored me.
Oh, shunned. Shunned by Point.
Shunned by Point.
And you live in Point.
So then every time
Bastards.
I drink a Point, I'm like, this is my favorite beer.
Shake your
but
fist
it's a little
at them.
bitter.
Yeah. A little bitter.
But, it's life.
Yeah.
You realize that the bulk of this episode has been about breastfeeding now.
That's true.
But I think it's something that needs to be in the spotlight. Because, like we said, I said cuz. I'm slanging.
Cuz.
Katie comes off as so articulate, despite the fact that she's been swearing like a sailor. and I'm just like dropping into the Midwestern blue collar type of cuz it ain't gonna done nothing. Oh boy.
Yes.
But no, people, if you see a mother that's breastfeeding their child and you don't like it,
Just
Look
turn
away.
away.
turn away.
Shut your eyes. You won't go blind.
Perhaps walk away.
Or just walk. Yeah. It's a good thing. Every once in a while, I've come up to a breastfeeding mom, too, and I've been like, hey, that's awesome that you're nursing. And way to go.
Good for you.
Like,
that's
give them a
awesome.
thumbs up or smile at them.
It may not be much, but when all it's getting is negative attention from people, that needs to come across. Because if somebody calls out a mom, like, I don't even know how difficult it truly is to breastfeed a child. But don't you pretty much have to be kind of relaxed? If you're stressed out,
yeah.
that can affect the milk production, all that.
Yeah.
And so if you've got somebody coming up to you and just laying into you because you're doing what your body naturally does, that's got to affect things.
Yeah, your stress hormones like cortisol go up, and prolactin is a hormone that you need to release milk. It's called letdown, and prolactin happens in your body when you're calm and relaxed, and ideally thinking nice, happy thoughts, and you feel safe.
So
Just like when a woman gives birth, if she doesn't feel safe in the situation, in the setting, her body, her labor just shuts down. It just stops, because that's science. That's her body telling her, this is not safe. You don't want to give birth right here.
It's
so
just
that's
a natural
it's
order
the
of
same
things.
thing. It's like your body's mechanism of protecting you and your child.
Wow.
But like, if you're not relaxed enough and you're stressed, you're not going to have an easy time nursing, and maybe you won't produce as much milk. And then you'll maybe be worried because you're not producing as much milk. and then you'll produce less milk because you're stressed, and then it's just a vicious cycle. You're stressed because you're not producing enough milk, but you're not producing enough milk because you're stressed. And other things definitely can play a factor in not having enough milk, but that's something that people really worry about.
So
And it's not fun.
coming from a guy, if you are a person who feels the need to go negatively address the situation, by situation I mean a mother breastfeeding her child in public, not only are you being a dick because you're making a point to say something to chastise the individual, you are possibly decreasing the milk production, therefore taking away essential nutrients from the child. So you're a double dick. Again, if you don't like what you're
visual.
seeing, a double dick.
What would that look like? I'm sorry.
I cannot explore that. But there's got to be somebody out there. No.
Somebody's got one. Should we YouTube it? Like Google it?
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna Google double dick when I get home.
Oh. Do me a huge favor, and after you do that, keep the information to yourself. But
Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring mind. Fact of the day.
Yes.
This is what a double dick looks like.
I'm sure there is somebody. Like, there's people with double vaginas. I've heard of that. Or I don't know how that really happens, but I swear I've heard of that.
You just stalled me out.
You got nothing. Just the
so
look on
have
Doug's
nothing.
face right now, like, just, did she really say that?
It was like a blank stare, like when the Cowboys, or not the Cowboys. Wow, screw the Cowboys. Sorry. I know you said you lived in Texas for a while.
I'm not from Texas, yeah.
But I'm a Redskins fan. Texas with the Cowboys, Redskins, big rivalry. But when the Broncos won the Super Bowl, what you just said gave me a blank stare almost identical to Eli Manning's when Peyton won. You saw Eli sitting up in that box just like, did I forget to leave or to shut the oven off? Do I have a burner going?
Yeah.
No,
That's true.
you really did stall me out. I don't even know.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Because nothing is better on a podcast than radio silence.
Yes. Do we have like a cricket chirping noise?
I don't have any of those. This is so low budget, you could hear the train go by.
That's true.
As many of you know, we're recording in my living room in a trailer park.
There's a deer head watching me.
Hey, I harvested that deer. And it's looking the other... Well, actually, the eye's facing you.
No, he was afraid that maybe somebody at some point would nurse their baby in this house, so he's looking away. He's doing the appropriate thing to do. Go deer.
That's right. An 8-point buck showing his male dominance.
Yes.
Doing the right thing and
You
looking
are a
away.
mammal. You get it. Just look away. Nobody's nursing anything or anybody, by the way, but just in case. He's prepared. I may be nursing this glass of whatever kind of wine. But that's
it was
about it.
some sort of fruity blend.
Yeah.
Wow. That is something. So, a lot of talk about breastfeeding in public, which I do think is important. I bring it up as if it's an odd conversation, but that's part of the problem then.
Yeah.
If you address it as an odd conversation, it is part of the problem. And, boobs aren't always sexy, guys.
They aren't.
Sometimes they're meant to feed.
Yeah.
Again, natural order.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
this beer
in
is
other
awesome.
countries, they have beaches where you walk around topless and nobody blinks an eye. I mean, it's not like...
nude beaches, topless beaches?
It's not like, only if you're between the ages of, 18 and, say, 25, can you walk around topless. If you're in great shape and maybe your breasts look a certain way. No, there's no rules. They don't give a fuck. They're just, letting it all hang out. They don't even care. Everybody's used to seeing everybody's boobs and everything else. And it's not even a big deal.
But then as soon as you attach an infant to it,
it's like,
it becomes taboo.
Whoa.
Or you cross the line.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah, that's not right at all.
So here, I mean, people here are prudes. And people here don't nurse their babies as long as people in other countries.
Yeah.
I actually went to a breastfeeding continuing education day a couple years ago, where all you learned about for 2 whole days was like physiological aspects of breastfeeding and some other things also. But one of the topics,
Wine burp. There's
One
a
of the
burp on every episode, just to let you know.
I think I just had a dry throat, honestly, but we'll just call it a wine burp if you want.
Oh.
So yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so one thing, sorry, just one thing we learned that day was that when archaeologists study animals, a lot of times they learn a lot from their teeth. And if you look at a human's teeth, or the teeth of a small child, mammals continue to nurse until they lose what are called their milk teeth. And so like dogs and cats and other mammals have these milk teeth, which when they're old enough to be weaned from their mother, they get what would be like their grown-up teeth, right?
Okay.
So in humans, it's the same. Humans are mammals. So according to science, the average age that a human child should nurse is until they lose their baby teeth. So around 6 or 7 years old. If you look at it from an archaeological standpoint, and you just look at the teeth.
That's interesting.
Because
I know that's
what they found.
You said up to 3 for your children, maybe a little bit beyond. And I guarantee you there's going to be some people out there that hear that and go, whoa.
Oh my God, once they can talk and ask for it, they got to be done. Like, okay.
Yeah, because you're
I
automatically...
could ask...
So you're supposed to switch from your body to what comes out of a cow. And all the process that goes into that.
Yeah, cow milk, I'm sorry. Don't get me started on cow milk. My son drinks cow milk because he's a really kind of a funny guy sometimes. He doesn't. I have vegan friends and he's like, "Is this vegan milk? I don't want any soy milk. I don't want vegan milk. I drink almond or coconut milk." My daughter usually does too.
Soy milk, almond milk, and coconut milk to me all taste better than cow milk.
See, I don't really like soy milk. If it's the only thing around, I'll do it like in my coffee instead of regular milk. But
hipster.
I'm got coconut milk at Starbucks. What?
Are you a Starbucks lady?
Oh gosh, shoot! I wasn't
Guys,
supposed to let that out.
we gotta end this episode.
No. The only reason for my Starbucks addiction is because no local coffee shops, except for one tiny one, that's not on my way to work, have a drive-through. And I need some coffee in the morning.
Give them a shout out.
Okay, it's what the heck is it called? Black Cow Espresso.
Where's
Over on
that one?
Division Street in Stevens Point, like right in the parking lot with Dollar General by Quick Trip. There's a new Quick Trip there as well. And it's not even really a building. It's a tiny little drive-through coffee shack with great coffee. They've got organic
Which
coffee
side is
beans.
that on?
It's in the Dollar General side. Like right between Dollar General and Quick Trip. It's literally like maybe 2 people, maybe if you pushed it, 3 people could fit in there.
Yeah,
but they've got 2 drive-up windows.
But you think
one
about
on each
it,
side.
that's nice to have. A lot of those people on their early morning commute are just gonna want to be in and out.
Yeah,
with a nice cup of gourmet coffee.
Exactly. Well, and so okay. And I hate being like one of those snobby Starbucks people. I'm not really. I just need coffee or I can't function and I want to punch people. But I mean, seriously, if
At least you're honest.
If I wasn't on coffee, like you wouldn't even want to deal with me. I'm sorry. It would be a pretty like gruesome picture.
I can control it enough to
like
where
I'm
just
saying
look like
I'm
an angry
on
zombie.
coffee as well. Like coffee's a drug, but
Well, caffeine kind of is, yeah.
So yeah, I would hurt people if it wasn't for coffee every day. I still have like an inch of wine in there. But yeah, so
Pretty close to an inch.
if some of the other places like Emmy J's or Zest, which I still haven't been to because every time I want to go there, they're closed. It's like another little hipster coffee shop hangout in
Really?
Stevens Point that everybody
Yeah,
but me
Stevens
has gone
Point,
to.
Wisconsin, folks. Believe it or
Yep.
not, we have people like in
Woo.
France and Belgium listening to this, and
Yes.
so, I mean, like I know I
How many people live there? Like 26,000 or something, or I
in
don't know.
Belgium.
No, not Belgium, like Stevens
Oh,
Point.
I was gonna say there's a couple more.
I went to school in Iola. Give me a break.
So did I. At different times, we
Shout
never
out.
met.
Never
We
met
lived
you.
in the same town for a while.
Yes.
Because you lived in Iola when? And this at the time was a town of like 1,100. Now
yeah.
it's something like 1,300.
Ooh, gosh, it has grown.
People been producing.
Oh gosh. Well, there's not really anything better to do in Iola, so that's all you can do, right?
Quick, get to the gas station before 11 to get your
Get
beer.
to the gas station before they close.
And let's make memories.
Or things we don't remember. But,
Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah. Iola, just not really a booming metropolis, shall we say.
I always felt it was a little sad. Like as a kid, it was nice because you could roam around the entire town.
Yeah, my parents never knew where I was. I was
You
just
had to be
riding
home
my
before
bike.
the lights were on.
Yeah, I would just ride my bike from like the morning until it was about to get dark, and I was like, oh man, it's starting to get dark. I'm scared of the dark. I don't really like riding my bike in the dark. But I mean, if it wasn't for me being scared kind of to ride in the dark, I don't think my parents would have cared. They'd just
Mine cared
You're like,
enough to be like, you be
she-
home before that, or your ass is gonna be black and blue for a month.
See, I don't even feel like my parents did that. Maybe they did. I'm kind of
Did
making
you
them
have
sound
parents?
I
or
mean,
were
I
you-
did. Yeah, I did.
Or were you like one of those cartoons, like say Rugrats,
Yeah.
where like they have parents,
They
but
were just never there.
never like, yeah, we'll watch your kids.
Oh,
Throw them
yeah.
in the playpen.
Yeah, that was me. But I was like 14 and they still put me in the playpen. So
Katie is a rather petite girl, so I can actually see that going on. And
I never
despite
did
being a
figure out how
mother-
to get out.
despite being a mother, I'm calling you a girl. I apologize. A grown adult woman.
Gosh, that sounds stuffy.
It does.
A grown adult woman.
I just stole her thunder. Now she's just like
Just
looking
like
sadly.
depressed. Let me have some more wine.
Yeah, she's just looking like this glass is too empty.
My birthday next month too. Oh man.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know.
My oldest turns 4 next month.
My oldest turns, well, no, my youngest. What the hell? How much wine have I had here? My youngest turns
About
4.
2 inches.
I know, like I had like an inch of wine.
That's our unit of
That's
measurement.
about all I need.
Couldn't find the wine glass. We used a pint.
Need an inch here. No, my youngest turns 4 in July, and it's kind of sad. Like,
And then how old's your oldest then?
he just turned 7 in
7.
December. He's pretty hilarious. He likes okay, so there's this whole genre of adult males who, play with action figures and like love Pokemon, Skylanders, Legos, and they have YouTube channels, right? So my son's favorite thing to do, other than like sometimes playing video games, is
I thought
to
you didn't allow
watch.
that.
Okay, I don't allow many video games because like he goes to a fancy kind of charter school, not supposed to play video games and watch a lot of TV. So he doesn't. I limit his TV and video games. He doesn't have video games at my house because I
You're
just
just
don't
being a
feel like he
mom.
needs
You're
it.
not being too stuffy or too strict.
No.
You're being a mom.
Yeah. I mean, I set a timer sometimes and like here's 15, 20 minutes of video games and then that's it. And sometimes I have to pry that thing out of his hands, like if he has a Game Boy, which he got for Christmas, but not from me. But yeah, going off on a tangent again. What was I even going to say?
The adult people.
Being an adult. Yeah, I mean...
The people that play with the figures.
Oh, yeah.
And...
Yeah. So these people
You just
obviously...
went to go off on a different tangent.
I did. I was like thinking of 2 different ones. Like I could go either way on this. Maybe I'll go off on the other one in a second here. But so sometimes being an adult isn't fun, right? So these guys...
When is it?
Well,
I work, I dad,
You dad.
and twice a month I Rawcast.
I mom. No,
You
so
are mom, hear me roar.
there are times being an adult, has its perks, and for those of you that may know me, you probably know what I mean. That's all I'm gonna say. So
How cryptic.
very
I'm not even on the same page.
exactly. See.
Oh.
But yeah, so these guys, anyway, how about those YouTube guys? So these guys are of adult age, but maybe not adult mindset. They have YouTube channels. There's like many different guys that do this. I don't think I've ever seen a woman YouTube channel doing this, but they get these new action figures or toys like Pokemon or Skylanders or whatever. And their whole YouTube channel is basically recording their hands, opening up the new action figure or like minifigure or like pack of cards. And like they're talking and narrating the whole thing as they go along, describing
I'm
the
now
packaging.
taking the twist tie off.
Check out the packaging here. It says ages 3 and up. I'm 37. So I fall into that category, right? Up.
But to each their own.
Exactly.
Because
So,
you know what? Look at Lego. I
Yeah.
think it says something like the top
99, like up to 99. But
It's
once
like if
you
you're
hit 100, like fuck that. You can't play
you
with
go-
Legos anymore.
You're 100 years old. You finally get to go
You
to New
wanna
York.
play
You
with
go to the
Legos?
Lego store, and they're like,
And they
"You're
deny
too
you.
old."
You're denied. You old fart, get out of here.
Legos are for kids.
Legos are for kids, not 100-year-olds.
And the Trix Rabbit standing over there like, "You sick man. You sick man. You."
Oh. And then there's like Milhouse from The Simpsons, and wait, no, who's the fat kid from The Simpsons who always goes ha ha? And like
Nelson.
Nelson. He's standing there like pointing at this 100-year-old who just dreams of playing with Legos and gets denied on his trip like to the first ever.
And then they
like,
send in
time to
reps
see
who
Legos.
confiscate all the Legos.
All of the Legos. Like he gets hauled off and just kicked to the curb.
You found a
and
Lego
then-
in your pocket.
Nelson laughs at him. That would really suck if that was your life. Say that was your dream.
They're not really going to deny them, no. I mean, come on.
Should we ask?
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
Should
Call
we
up.
write a letter to
Call,
Lego?
Call Lego. Be
Call
like,
them.
So seriously, 100-year-olds shouldn't be playing with this?
Well,
Well, they might choke.
we could do like okay, this is kind of I support the Make-A-Wish Foundation, just so you know, this is not a blow against them, but we could do like a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing for old people. Like my 102-year-old great-grandmammy's
Mammy.
her lifelong dying wish is to go see the Lego factory in wherever it is. And Japan. Or, I don't even know. Are they made in the U.S.?
I don't know.
There's a lot of Japanese. There's a lot of Japanese people that love Legos. So I'm going to say maybe there, but I don't know. But
Netflix had a documentary about Lego.
Oh, I've watched it.
That was so good.
Yeah. Trust me, I've watched Inside Lego, I think it's called, or something like that. My son has watched that probably 100 times.
I've been watching
well,
a lot of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I'm talking original and next gen. Because I already watched all 7 seasons of Voyager.
Oh, gosh. Well,
yeah, I know. I used to be a Star Wars guy. I got into the Trek.
You're a Trekkie.
I'm not a Trekkie. I appreciate both the Star Wars and the Star Trek
That's just
franchises.
kind of a fun thing to say, though, Trekkie.
It kind of is. But, no.
What would you call someone who's, like, really into Star Wars? Is there a name for that?
I don't know if there is.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
It seems like there should be.
Because I was huge into Star Wars. Like, I've got so many of the books. I read a lot of the expanded universe. And it kind of hurt when all of a sudden they decided, well, you know what? It's so hard to write a new story for episode 7. None of the expanded universe is canon anymore.
See,
So it was fan fiction, glorified fan fiction at that point.
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those people that don't really know all the Star Wars movies, don't really know much of the history about Star Wars, but I did go and see the latest Star Wars movie.
I haven't seen the newest one. She doesn't know any of the backstory, but then she's seen the new one. So now she's better than me.
A man friend and I, we had gone and seen
Man friend.
man friend. Just That's what sophisticated people say, Doug. Don't laugh.
Yeah, kind of like conscientious decoupling or whatever.
Yeah, so I saw Star Wars, and
Don't give spoilers.
no, it was good. You didn't have to know the history. Like, it tells you in the beginning with all the words on the screen.
Well,
Right?
yeah, the
Like,
traditional
you
Star
don't
Wars
need
scroll.
to see the previous 10,000
Six.
movies.
6,000. Nope, 6.
6.
Phantom, or the
gosh.
Phantom Mantis.
Mentis.
The Phantom
Mentos,
Mantis.
the fresh maker.
The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi.
I'm sleeping. What?
Those are the 6.
I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
Oh, don't hate me.
Actually, some people don't even consider episodes 1 through 3 to be part of Star
Okay.
Wars because they hated them.
Do you recall? I mean, you were younger than me, but when I was in middle school, I want to say.
No offense, but I will always be younger than you.
If they could see my
Harsh.
face right now. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm in trouble.
I am an older woman. Give me a break.
She's got a long way to retirement, folks. She's not that old. She's on the early side of 30.
Sometimes I get carded. Sometimes I don't.
Put it this way, if you came to where I worked and you were going to buy alcohol, out of the kindness of my heart, I would card you.
Oh, gee, thanks. God. That's
Just-
not even a nice thing to say. That's
Despite
kind
the
of like a
fact-
dick move.
Well, despite the fact that I know you.
Out of
I
the
know how
kindness
old
of
you
my
are.
heart. Like, oh, she's just getting really old and not many people really want her. She's not very useful to society anymore. Like, just send her off on an iceberg like we do with the Eskimo grandparents, just send them away.
Oh my
So just to give her some sort of like hope in life, I'm going to card her and act like she's not ancient.
Like I said, she's on the early side of 30, but yet she's acting like she's some ancient female.
I appreciate that gesture, Doug.
You know what?
Thank you for making my life a little less depressing.
Despite being, I'm only 26. I'm still very youthful.
Rub it in.
Oh, come on. I got the body of a 45-year-old. But I actually got an invitation from the AARP last year. And I first looked at the envelope, stared blankly for about 3 seconds, and then immediately got mad.
Like, got pissed. Somebody's at the door. Who shall it be?
Well, where were you going? We got off a tangent about Star Wars.
You know what? We were going to write the Lego company a letter, sort of like a Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like, it was this really old, 104-year-old grandmammy's lifelong dream, and it was her dying wish to see the Lego factory. And even though she's 104, she's she's requesting some sort of an exception to be able to play with Legos because she's not under 99 anymore. She's not like a spry 98. Let's face it, she's 104.
I'm guessing there'd be a petition on
So,
whitehouse.gov.
I mean, we need to make this happen. Let's find someone over 99. Let's send them out to the Lego somewhere, like the largest Lego land in the world, and see if they get carded and denied.
Like, you look way too old to be Legoing it up right now.
Are you 98 in one day, ma'am? Yeah, no. Can you not read?
Yes.
Oh, wait, 99 in a day. I still have how many inches? 3/4 of an inch here?
Yeah, I know.
I think I've drank enough in the last couple nights, though, that I'm like still just continuously drunk. So this
Really?
small glass of wine is like, it's like the nail in the coffin.
That would literally be a sample at any given winery.
It's like, body of Christ, here's your glass of wine. I'm trashed.
I must have drank a whole cup of blood at church today.
Oh, yeah. Can I go back for seconds?
Actually, I'm a little light on the stomach.
I feel like I'm going to hell, guys. Just
Can I get a handful of wafers, please?
I need something to wash these wafers down.
I have one stuck in my throat. The body of Christ. Christ is killing
Body
me.
of Christ. Oh God.
How have we knocked on religion a couple times?
Oh my God.
already?
Yeah, I mean, oh wow. I feel like I'm just going to hell right now. I mean, I grew up Catholic.
Well, you're
But,
in a
you
trailer
know.
park in Stevens Point. You might be
The
close.
deer's still looking away, by the way, so we're good.
Yeah, but again, nobody's breastfeeding.
He's
right
averting
now.
his eyes just in case there ever happens to be a breastfeeding child in this room. He's prepared. He's totally prepared. I mean, he's just not taking that risk at all to see that kind of thing. He's ready.
Why are you locking eyes with the buck?
I just like I'm infatuated by the buck.
Are you appalled by the fact that I have a head mount of the biggest buck I've ever shot?
Did
right.
you eat the meat?
Yeah.
Did you eat the venison? Well, that's
I
not so
killed
bad.
it. I field dressed it.
Yeah.
I helped
I
process
don't know
it.
what that means, but it seems like you're dressing him up in clothing,
Oh,
like
well,
making him a person. But
Exact opposite, actually. It's where you cut the stomach open, rip out all the organs.
tasty. Well, yeah, if you're gonna eat a deer, and use it and not just hang its head on your wall with Christmas lights, then
I'm not a trophy hunter.
he doesn't feel so like he feels like his life was not in vain. He fed a family.
He lived a good life.
He did have a pretty good life.
Actually, this is...
What is his
I'm
name?
surprised... There's no name, but I'm surprised that I'm
He's
going to
gotta
be
have a
saying
name.
this, but I remember when I shot that buck, because I think I was 13 years old, and it must have been... There was a couple bucks that were still going through rut, which was odd for that time of year, but I shot him just as he hopped up to mount a female.
Oh, that's a crappy way to end your life. Did you get him before he got the business done?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, shit. I feel bad for him now.
He didn't even
I'm
get to
sorry.
insertion.
God.
I popped him.
Could you imagine having that be your final moment? You're ready to get action, like getting it on, like ready.
For all we know, he
Like,
was a
just-
virgin deer. He's just like,
Oh, God. That was like
finally.
his dying moment, and he just... Oh, such a sad, sad life for this deer. He needs to have a name now.
I can't name him
Gosh.
because
could have
I've
been
already ate and passed him.
That could have been his life. But he forever lives on your wall.
Yeah, collecting dust.
Yeah, deer eyes kind of are weird though. They always look like they're following you, even though they're not real eyes. Like it's marbles or glass or something that they put in there, because the eyes would probably start to rot and smell after a while.
I every now and then I catch myself doing the upward stretch underneath it, and I happen to bump
Whoa.
I bump its head, and then for a second I just
Like
jump.
holy shit, did he just look at me?
Did he bite me?
Like in Tommy Boy.
Kind of. When it rips
There's
the car apart.
He tried to bite me.
That was awesome.
Bees are everywhere. Your firearms are useless against them.
Save yourself.
Save yourselves.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I was waiting to end this episode
I'm sorry.
after you finished your wine.
Oh God. Body of Christ.
Chug a lug. Oh, she did it. She took that last half a sip.
And now for some banjo music, brought to you by the one who has a banjo but doesn't know how to play.
That's right. In about 6 months' time, you should be seeing videos of Katie playing her banjo on YouTube.
No pressure now. 6 months is not, a fair
that
amount of time.
Pressure intended.
Oh God.
I now
Okay.
set a goal for you.
6 months. I'll be singing at open mic night at Emmy J's with my banjo. And
Playing some anti-folk.
I'm going to fake it till I make it, I'll just
what a lot
pretend
of
that
them
I'm
do now.
playing and I'll have somebody else's awesome banjo music recorded playing from the speakers.
Yeah, because
And then
Emmy
hope
J's,
that there's not,
nobody's
like,
gonna notice you're not playing.
Hope that there's not like what was it, Milli Vanilli? The
Oh
one who
my
was
God.
lip syncing. Hope there's not a moment like that where like the music goes off
That was Milli Vanilli.
and then it shows me
like
actually
Ashley
just
Simpson on
being a
SNL.
phony banjo player.
But that could add to your hype. You could have image.
Yeah.
Trust me, when I
Ooh.
was working with bands, sometimes bad news, you had to spin it and make something good out of it.
Like the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction, do you think that was actually planned?
It had
Come
a
on,
good
it had to
plan.
have
She was
been.
wearing a pasty.
Everybody was talking. Yeah, who wears those? Come on. Like,
Obviously not breastfeeding mothers because they need
no,
access.
no. Yeah. Just
But we are now going over our time.
We're done talking about that. But, just look away if you don't want to see that. That's it. Put a bag over your head.
That's pretty much the moral of the story. If you're uncomfortable with seeing a mother feeding their child in public, don't look.
And also the other moral is once you hit 100, no Legos for you.
We're going to start a petition for all of you centennials.
I'll get right on that. I'm going to type it up when I get home tonight.
Okay.
We'll go door to door and get
I will
names.
sign it and I will pledge.
But you've got quite a way to go until you get to that age.
I personally do, yeah, but I would like...
I don't have so long.
I would like to canvass for all the centennials.
Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully we can get some progress made because 100's pushing it.
By the time that you're 100, maybe we'll change things up a little bit.
There you go. Kind of piggyback the AARP. I say that because, again, I'm still offended that you guys sent me that invitation.
I feel like, sorry, this is totally random, but one time when you had your long beard, somebody that we both knew thought you were older, and they said something to you when we did work together about you being old because of your beard or something, and I don't remember
who it was.
Oh, what was the comment though? But it was like
it was somebody who was like 2
Newer.
or 3 years younger than me,
Yeah.
tops.
Yeah.
And I was just like, at the time I think I was 25.
Yeah, it was a guy though, but I don't even remember what he
Maybe?
said.
I think so, yeah.
But you told me, and it was like hilarious. Like he thinks you're an advanced age or something.
Yeah, like I'm a geriatric or something.
It was hilarious. God, if you remember
Like
that.
if I could get out of this chair, I'd whoop your ass.
Oh, Sonny, got my cane here. Yeah.
That's my whipping cane.
Whipping. Yeah. If you remember that quote, you got to tell me. And everybody else who listens to this,
I'll
because
have
they need to know.
I wonder if I can access my old email
Gosh.
from before we changed servers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's not happening.
Anyway, yeah.
But no, I mean, we talked about breastfeeding a lot, but
Legos.
that needs to
Deer.
be in the main focus. People, pay attention to it, support it. It needs to happen. It's life. And
Yes.
Katie, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been pleasant banter.
You,
For not having any agenda.
we had no clue. Yeah.
We have accomplished quite a bit.
I feel really accomplished. I feel like I've succeeded in life now. You know,
Okay,
my
well-
bucket list is it's done. This is it.
Okay.
I've fully lived, so I appreciate it, Doug.
That's
I feel like a productive
That's a
member of
concerning thought.
society now. I have lived. I have truly lived.
I have a feeling this might be a suicide note. But,
Oh God, no.
but Katie, it was awesome. I really do appreciate it. I had a lot of
Yeah.
fun and hope to have you
I
on again.
appreciate it. Yes.
You best be back.
If people don't hate this episode, I'll come back.
Even if they do,
You know.
don't worry about it. Even if it gets one view and it's mine. Like,
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. I'll view it and laugh. I'll try not to fall asleep to it though too, because I like to listen to them at night. So
Yeah, that's right. It's like NPR to Katie, be like, and tonight the sounds from jazz.
And
we deal
here's-
with Thelonious Monk. But anyway,
that's what I fall asleep to.
Katie and
podcast.
Doug totally cutting off this episode of
Cut
Rawcast
off.
AD.
Yep.